The next stage of breakup grief, denial. So this is when you might have thoughts such as, they were the one. I've never connected like that with anyone before. Maybe we can work it out.
Yeah.
I don't want to block them in case they change their mind.
Oh, man.
All denial. We can still be friends. And they have mental health issues and I need to be there for them.
Welcome to the X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on. I'm Claire.
And I'm Janice. We are breakup coaches, here to help you beat your breakup,
Heal your broken heart,
and move on to an amazing, abundant life.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We're excited to be speaking to your ears again, this time about stages of grief. If you want to speak with us more about stages of grief and more of a two-sided back and forth format instead of just a one-sided we lecture you on a podcast format, then go ahead and join our Patreon. This will give you the opportunity to ask us questions through that platform and tell us directly how you relate to what we're about to share. So get the link in our show notes and become an X-Files insider today.
Yeah, I'm excited to grow that over the summer. We would, be excited to have you. It's either $5 or $10, and it's going to be helping us a lot to expand our offerings. So please come and see us.
Yeah.
And with that, let's get into it. So we are going to be speaking about the stages of grief today. And so I thought it would be good to start out with a few notes / I guess disclaimers, caveats, if you will. So before we begin, I just wanted to make sure that we are clear that this is not necessarily a criticism of the stages of grief as researched and outlined and written about and talked about by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. This is an invitation to our amazing community to think about their journeys in a new way.
Yeah.
And it's also a statement of the unique nature of a broken heart. I haven't found that the stages of grief as commonly talked about today apply as much to breakups.
Yeah.
So I thought it might be useful to maybe talk about unique stages of breakups. And also I wanted to make sure to say our model / what we've come up with is based on empirical research and our experiences as coaches and individuals who have gone through multiple breakups. We haven't, done research or surveys. This is all things that we've observed.
Yeah.
And it is not meant to be prescriptive. We try really hard on X-Files not to say that you must do things this way or that things are always this way.
Yeah.
But, this is just one way to look at it. And there's no right or wrong way to grieve. You might relate to some of what we say. You might not relate to any of it.
Yeah.
It might really hit home. But we don't want anyone to feel like they're doing something wrong if they don't relate to all of it.
Yeah, and I think as we get into things, we'll talk more about how that can be applied not just to this new idea of a model, but also the old model as well. So
yeah, exactly. And that's why one reason I wanted to do that is that I know for me, I listen to people talk about the stages of grief as applied to things in my life, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see that for myself. So, but this I did relate to personally. So we'll see what people think of it.
All right. So history of the stages of grief. Where did it come from? So the concept of the stages of grief was developed by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross in her 1969 book on death and dying. That's the title of that. And it's also what it's about.
Yes.
When Ross was a psychiatry resident, she noticed how little attention was given to the experience of patients who had been diagnosed with terminal illness. And this book is based on her work with patients as well as over 200 interviews that she did.
Yep. I don't think a lot of people realize that it's based on a personal experience, finding out that you are probably going to die.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a big mystery. We are all going to die, but sometimes it's sooner than you
Yeah.
would like.
Mhm.
And so the stages of grief were really about patients coming to terms with their
Yeah.
own diagnosis. And I think one really important thing to realize about that is that the stages of grief would end because they would pass away.
Mm.
And so as a person with, hopefully, knock on wood, many years of life ahead of you, the stages
Mm.
of grief might not just end as they do.
Yeah, and
And so,
I'll definitely get into why it might not necessarily apply to breakups as much, and that's one reason for sure is
yeah,
that you guys are still out there.
yeah,
But
still
we'll
living.
definitely get into that. Yes, and that can make it, I don't know, more painful. I don't like to play the pain Olympics, but it can
Yeah.
make it painful in a different way, I think.
Yeah. And I think more cyclical because you'll go through the cycle many times in many different orders.
Yeah.
It's what I've
And maybe
found.
you'll go back and forth, which I think people who are
Exactly.
diagnosed with terminal illness probably go back and
They
forth between the
do.
stages as
Yeah.
well. But
Yeah. But they
um,
generally end with acceptance. um,
and that you're dead.
yeah. You're like, even if it's just a few minutes before, you're like, okay, this is.
Okay, so after Kubler-Ross came up with this theory, it really took off,
Yeah.
which means I think a lot of people can resonate with it. And it's such a, it's so embedded, especially in the American zeitgeist. You hear this
Yeah.
referred to all of the time. According to McGill.Canada, despite the lack of evidence to back up the Kubler-Ross stage theory of grief, its original birthplace on death and dying has been cited 15,509 times on Google Scholar at the time of writing.
And that's a lot
It
of
has been
times.
applied. What was that?
And that's a lot of times. Often things we're citing have like maybe 20 citations, so.
Wow, 15,000. It has been applied to everything from the grief process of those diagnosed with diseases like COPD or HIV to the grief experience by caregivers of those with dementia, patients who have amputations due to diabetes, doctors who receive low patient satisfaction scores or go through reduced resident work hours. Even, and I'm not making this up, the grief experienced by consumers after the iPhone was a disappointment. Excuse me, the iPhone 5 was
The
a
iPhone
disappointment.
5, yeah.
So that's being applied to a wide range of experiences.
Yeah, I think
So,
times were different when the iPhone 5 came out. We didn't have a global pandemic at the
well,
time.
we're gonna come back to that actually as
Yeah.
well,
Oh,
because it's
man.
been applied to COVID. I have a great quote that we're going to share after we talk
Yeah.
about the stages. So once again, I want to make sure to point out this isn't a criticism of the theory, but I also think it's important to point out that it doesn't make sense to apply it to breakups. Every single
Yeah.
breakup is so unique. Every experience is unique. But yeah, I don't know that it gels with me.
Yeah.
So should we talk about what the stages of grief are as currently
Yeah. Let's
currently used?
let's describe each stage. So,
Okay.
the first off is denial. And this is when your first reaction when you hear, or in the research, when a person hears you have a terminal illness, like this is the way things are. At this stage, individuals believe that the diagnosis is somehow mistaken and they cling to a false, preferable reality.
Mhm.
Some may try to isolate themselves, especially to avoid others who have accepted what is happening.
Mhm.
It's hard to be in denial if everyone around you is constantly telling you that
Yeah.
you're in denial.
Or yeah, I guess in this stage, as far as being diagnosed with a terminal illness, this is when you would be saying, get a second opinion, or, oh, that can't be right, or, oh, so many other people live through it.
Yeah, exactly. Or like, I can't really be that sick.
Yeah. And just so everyone knows, I got these little snippets just from the wiki page because I really just wanted really concise explanations of each.
Yeah.
And this is, one of the rare times that we'll quote directly from Wikipedia, but I thought they did a good job. We used it, I think, for the rebound episode as well, right?
Yeah. And we were like, yeah.
Some of the pages are really well done, and I thought this was one of them.
I think so. Yeah. Another stage is anger. So when the individual recognizes that denial cannot continue, they become frustrated, especially at proximate individuals. Certain psychological responses of a person undergoing this phase would be, why me? It's not fair. How can this happen to me? Who is to blame for this? Why would this happen? Some may lash out at loved ones, at medical staff, and at other family and loved ones. Yeah, lots of loved ones.
Moving on with stages of grief. This is one I think is misunderstood a lot. Bargaining. This is the third stage of grief as outlined in On Death and Dying. The third stage involves the hope that the individual can avoid a cause of grief. Usually, the negotiation for an extended life is made in exchange for a reformed lifestyle. People facing less serious trauma can bargain or seek compromise. Examples include the terminally ill person who negotiates with God in order to attend a daughter's wedding, an attempt to bargain for more time to live in exchange for a reformed lifestyle, or a phrase such as, if I could trade their life for mine.
Ooh.
Yeah. Bargaining. So the fourth stage of grief, depression. During the fourth stage, the individual despairs at the recognition of their mortality. In this state, the individual may become silent, refuse visitors, and spend much of the time mournful and sullen.
Yeah.
I really can't imagine being diagnosed with a terminal illness.
Yeah.
So I can understand that you would feel that way. Yeah. And of course, as I think most people know, the last stage is acceptance. And this is saying things like, it's going to be okay, or I can't fight it, or I might as well prepare for it. In this stage, individuals embrace mortality or the inevitable future, or that of a loved one, or other tragic event. People dying may precede the survivors in this state, which typically comes with a calm, retrospective view for the individual and a stable condition of emotions. So, as I was saying earlier, the stages of grief are extremely pervasive in American society. I heard it referenced in one of my favorite podcasts just last week, maybe even in reference to breakups. I'll have to think about that. It is still very much being used to describe the American consciousness. Ross herself said of the COVID pandemic, there's denial, which we saw a lot of early on. Thoughts like the virus won't affect us. Then there's anger. You're making me stay home and taking away my activities. There's bargaining. Okay, if I social distance for 2 weeks, everything will be better, right? There's sadness. I don't know when this will end. And finally, there's acceptance. This is happening. I have to figure out how to proceed. So, and that's a very recent quote by the author herself about the stages of grief. We have loved creating free and accessible healing resources for people around the world who are looking for support on their breakups, broken hearts, and moving on journeys. Each day, we receive DMs from many of you who have let us know the positive impact X-Files is making in your life. Our vision for the second year of our show is something that we both feel so completely. We are looking forward to continuing to share useful resources each week, but also expanding our offerings to help people go more deeply with their healing and growth.
Part of our vision is expanding the connection with our community. And to do that, we are thrilled to be launching the X-Files Patreon. Growing this aspect of our community will allow us to keep creating great content for everyone each week and also start developing even more healing resources and support. we would love for you to be part of the first group of the X-Files patrons. So head to the link in the show notes now to sign up for either the $5 or the $10 level. And we will both be looking forward to connecting with you very soon. Yeah, I mean, I think that's why it has so much recognition, especially in America, where because I think these stages, they do make sense. I think it's just they're very broadly applied, which is outside of what the research.
It's interesting too that it doesn't seem like there's been too much research or like alternative theories. This is just, like this blanket thing that people have been using since the 60s.
Yeah.
It's so, no one's ever,
questioned
can
where
you think
it
of an
came
alternative?
From. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So how this might not apply to breakups. It doesn't involve death or dying. So there's that. For some people, a breakup might not even feel permanent at first. And so, a matrix that applies to something that is very permanent might not work for something that is not permanent all the time. Right. It is possible to take much more control over how you feel about the situation. Yeah.
Whereas if you or a family member is dying or dead, there's not much you can really do about that. Whereas I feel like sometimes we don't really recognize how much power people have in changing the outcome of how they feel about a breakup.
Exactly. Yeah. The pain of a breakup is perceived as a physical pain. So that can be different. Other reasons why breakups are so hard, and that this might not apply. The separation from a person is permanent, and yet that person is still living. They're still out there living life. And I think that's a very special type of pain, because I think, in a breakup, you are mourning a death of a person and the death of the third person of the relationship, which is the you and me shared, the us. But that person's still out there. A significant other is often the most significant person in your life. So this system was researched and theorized about a person coming to terms with their own mortality, not mourning the loss of another person. Yeah.
And of course, some people internalize being broken up with, taking it as a rejection, and end up defining themselves as unlovable or unattractive because of it. So basically, the way that you view yourself can be completely altered. And I think that makes it really difficult for people to process and heal, because now you're also dealing with just completely shattered sense of, self-worth.
Yeah.
Some people have their identity wrapped up in their relationships. Being, stripped of this can be extremely unsettling and discombobulating for people and make it really hard to have perspective.
Yeah.
And of course, and I guess this would apply to many grieving processes, but the loss of the future you thought you had is very hard to come to terms with.
Yes.
I want everyone struggling with a broken heart to know that you are allowed to grieve, and it is normal and natural to feel extreme feelings of hopelessness. So even if there wasn't a death involved, you're still allowed to be completely, grief stricken. Yeah. We hope that you will know that you can overcome the pain you feel, and it is possible to turn this into a great opportunity for growth and building a life you will love. So, and of course, while each breakup is unique, there are stages of healing that I have seen as common in the many people I've spoken with them about, including myself. because working through the healing journey is so important and there are such important aspects of each. I thought it might be useful to outline what I have learned as a coach and someone who has been through more than one breakup. So I just wanted to mention that I was thinking about this one night. I probably, after having a full client week and probably something that I heard about the stages of grief as applied to breakups, I thought just didn't quite gel, or even, I know what it is now.
Yeah.
But I can't mention it on the air.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Something that someone told me. It's all coming back to me now, like so fast.
Gotcha.
And I just thought, I just don't know if that is helpful at all. Yeah. And so I was thinking about it one night, and it just came to me in the middle of the night. And I actually got up and wrote it in my iPhone, which is very unlike me. I like to just stay in bed and not, deviate from trying to just lie there and doze off.
Switching it up in the middle of the night.
But I'm glad I did write it down because I really, really love what I've come up with, and I'm so excited to talk to you about it.
All right, let's do it.
So I have identified the common stages of breakup healing as devastation, denial, realization, release, and acceptance.
I love this.
So let's talk about each. So we're not only going to talk about each, but also how to navigate each and how to cope with each and how to maybe use each stage to get to the next stage and, put this behind you. So, regardless of how much you relate to it, I hope that this helps people make progress on their healing journey.
I think it will. So the first one, devastation. Ooh, I think you're familiar by now if you're listening to the podcast with this stage. So some of the thoughts that can come up during the devastation phase is, what the fuck just happened? I didn't see it coming. I'm blindsided. I think we can still work it out. Those are all common thoughts.
Or maybe I can't believe they did this to me.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah. But that's still, I feel like that's maybe in the denial one, because it's like, I can't believe that they did this to me. Instead of like, it didn't happen. This can't be happening,
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Or there, this is okay. Got it.
Yeah,
you're probably right.
Just for that's what I mean. We're just working that out on air. Yes. So some actions that you may be finding yourself doing during devastation phase is crying, self-medicating. Yep. Breakup brain. Having breakup brain. That'll definitely be happening right now. Being really easily triggered by, seeing things around your town on social media.
Songs.
Yeah. We need to return to our breakup ballad analysis.
I was thinking about it for this one, and then I kind of started overthinking which song to select.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe we should just start automatically doing it every other episode or something.
Yeah. All right. So what can help yourself when you're in this phase? Number one, you can indulge. You are allowed to indulging in the ice cream, in all your coping mechanisms. It's okay.
I think making yourself just generally more comfortable during this time when you're, in so much pain is good. And I think sometimes, we try to tell people what you should or shouldn't do in this phase and what's healthy or not healthy. And, cut yourself some slack, really.
Exactly. Yeah. Another thing that can help is taking a day or days off of work. That breakup brain is going to make things really a struggle for you. And I argue that this is like being sick. You are not functioning well. You're also probably not helping morale at the company. So, consider taking some time off if you can. I know that that's a privilege and not everyone has access to that.
That's a good point.
Yeah. But if you can consider it, it is a legitimate reason to need a day or two.
Yeah. And maybe even plan ahead, maybe calling in sick last minute is maybe not accessible for some people, but hopefully, you might be able to say, I can't come in tomorrow, or I need to take a long weekend or something.
Yeah. Find a friend. Preferably one you knew before the breakup. Don't just find a new friend. I mean, you can, but
I don't
find
know if you'd be in
someone
the right
who,
headspace for it.
yeah,
But
find someone who can be there for you, who can
Mm.
come over and bring you ice cream
Mm.
and just listen to you
Or
and be
check
there to
in,
support you. Check in. Yeah. Any of those things. Yeah. Do things to physically feel good. Like, yeah, we get it. You're going to be eating a lot of ice cream. I get it. But, take yourself on your daily mental health walk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, even like laying in bed with, like a weighted blanket, or taking a bath, or taking extra naps, or, making sure that you're all bundled up, or just anything that physically makes you more comfortable.
There you go. Exactly.
And one more?
No contact. No contact. Yeah, don't keep stabbing yourself in your wound. That's a really helpful thing.
I think during the devastation stage, you can do things that you might look back otherwise, or look back after and think were a bit irrational.
Yeah.
And so I think making sure to not have contact with your ex is probably going to be something that you would be really, really glad that you did, or didn't do.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was devastation. The next stage of breakup grief, denial. So this is when you might have thoughts such as, they were the one. I've never connected like that with anyone before. Maybe we can work it out.
Yeah.
I don't want to block them in case they change their mind.
Oh man.
All denial. We can still be friends. And they have mental health issues, and I need to be there for them. So regardless of how bad the breakup was or is, you're telling yourself that, you still need to have them around. So that's denial. So things that you might be doing during this stage: checking their social media, looking at old photos, reading old messages, bringing it up with friends all of the time.
That's okay. We get
it's definitely okay. But I think, you're trying. I think people deep down want people to be like, yeah, you can work it out, or, it's going to be all right. They'll come around. And also that you're bringing it into your reality over and over again, because you're not ready to accept what's happening. Exactly. And of course, lamenting, which is kind of all of this. I lost someone really great. They were my best friend. These types of thoughts are, I think, what happens during the denial stage. So what can help if you're going through this? Making the list.
Make the list.
So as we often talk about, after a breakup, especially when you're in this denial stage, you can very easily start to idealize the relationship. In fact, you probably are. Why else would you be in denial over it ending? It's because you thought it was so great. Or you are experiencing fading affect bias, which is when our brain holds on to the positive memories of something as a protective measure, so that we don't constantly relive all of the bad things. And this can keep people really, really stuck after a breakup. And it breaks my heart to see this, but the list is where you literally write down things about the relationship that weren't working, times that you guys maybe didn't get along, maybe times that they let you down, just generally things that weren't that great. And it can be really hard to get started when you're in this stage. But if you can start with a list of 10 and keep going, it will start to come to you like you cannot believe.
Yes.
And there is a reason for this. Okay. I am a
There's
very
reason.
positive person. I would not normally suggest someone do something like this to focus on the negative. But in this case,
However,
I have seen it change things for people. It changed things for me and my breakup. And you can actually, by making this list, start to feel extremely comforted by the fact that the breakup has happened.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you can have that list on your phone. So every time you start getting into a spiral of like, wow, they were so amazing, you can pull up the list and be like, oh, yeah, A, B, and C. Good reasons that I don't want to be with this person. And it can help you remember that when your brain doesn't want to go to that place currently and remember those memories. So
and it can bring you relief for sure. Claire likes her phone. I like to write. And I, chuck it in your handbag or backpack and, keep it with you. And, you might even start to kind of think of it as a bit of a game. Like, oh yeah, the time that, they cut me down, at Christmas dinner, or what, when they were late for something, or, things that you didn't like about them, such as they didn't wash their damn clothes hardly ever.
Yeah. Oh my God. Laundry boy.
Yes. I guess I haven't actually brought this up for ages, but I made the list during my last breakup. And, it really had annoyed me that this guy just didn't seem to care about doing laundry, and that he would rewear things, not just jeans, like rewear a t-shirt, like multiple days in a row. You can't really do that.
Yeah. No, you can't.
It starts to smell pretty quickly. And that, I mean, even like we went on a road trip, and so like driving, he wore the same shirt 2 days in a row, and I'm like, that's an interesting choice.
Yeah, highly recommend going on a road trip with anyone you're dating, because you'll see them.
True. And I think he only even packed 2 shirts, which I thought was really weird.
And you're like, oh, you chose this life.
Yeah. It's not like we had space limitations, we had a car.
Yeah. Not space limitations to prevent bringing 4 shirts, maybe.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, it's like it's not crazy hard.
So that went on the list, dear listener.
Yes.
Yeah.
As it very well should.
Thank you, Claire. So get out that list. I mean, can you hear the way, that Claire and I are talking about it? This is what will happen once you start. You'll be like, oh yeah. And then this, and then they did this. And you'll be so glad that you have it.
Yeah, definitely.
So of course we want you to continue no contact during this time. We're the no contact gals. Or the no contact queens, right?
The no contact queens. Yes, we've been dubbed. We did not dub ourselves.
Something else that can happen during this time. This is a great time to begin to clear out your space of things that remind you of them, things that are theirs, maybe things they gave you. Clearing out your space could be deleting or removing photos from your phone. Delete the messages. I don't see any reason to keep all the messages. Just get rid of them. There might be something that reminds you of this person, whether or not it was theirs or they gave it to you. Maybe get rid of that, put it somewhere, and start to make it a space of your own that doesn't involve this person. It's so important. Completely. And I think during this time, you're still in quite a bit of pain. And I think this is where we could move to more healthy distractions than perhaps you were using during the devastation phase. Again, you need to do what you need to do to help yourself during this time. But this might be where you start perhaps going on walks or picking up a project, or, like watching a positive show, maybe instead of wine or ice cream or extra sleeping. It's different for everyone, but you might want to start thinking about that at this time.
Sounds good. Okay, next stage, realization. I love this one. So you've been making your list, but maybe, it's like you have your list and you need it as a reminder. This is when the list leads to more realizations. You start to have thoughts like,
Right.
they were kind of shit to me.
Mhm.
Or I don't know why I didn't end things sooner. You're like,
It's hard to
wow.
believe, but
Yeah.
people start to think these things.
It's true. Because something that was like maybe you were the dump E and like you hesitated for so long because you were worried about hurting this person and worried about whether you were making the right decision. And once you get to the realization phase, you start to realize, wow, actually, I've been feeling this way for a while. This was definitely the right choice.
Yeah.
And I could have done it sooner.
And I've also seen people who were broken up with say, I should have been the one to end it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Another one, I ignored so many red flags. We weren't actually that good for each other. I'm glad it ended. And I'm really pissed that they did this to me, whether this was the breakup or this was everything that led up to the breakup. Yeah. So, some actions that'll help during this time. Journal that shit out.
Yeah.
Journal it out. Handwriting is really best. I use my phone because it's with me everywhere. And so whenever I have a weak moment, I can just look at it. And I really cannot remember to bring anything but my phone most of the time. So that's just
different strokes for different folks.
Exactly. I'm not remembering to bring my journal to remind me of my list, talking to a coach or a counselor. I think that during the devastation phase, you'd probably be willing to try anything.
Yeah.
But then I think that a lot of progress can be made as you enter the realization phase.
Yes. And it can be confronting to realize all these things about the relationship that you thought was so great.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think you can get a coach or a counselor to help you move from denial to realization, but don't expect to see a lot of progress until you get into realization, basically. Another thing that can help is getting out more, experience more life. The more new experiences you can have post breakup, it's like you're speeding up time. The reason why time heals all is because you gain more perspective, and that comes from having more experiences. So if you only go out once a month, it's going to take a lot longer than maybe someone who's like, yeah, I've got this plan and I've got this plan and I'm doing a solo Eat, Pray, Love trip, and then I'm doing this, and they're speeding things up because it's really about experience, I think, more than just arbitrary time passing without doing anything else.
Well, and you'll find that you want to get out more during this phase.
Yeah. Another thing is making future plans, having things to look forward to. That is, that's going to help you. And it's also going to be a sign that you're starting to get into the realization phase, I think. Other things that can help, setting goals.
Yes,
definitely. I have a client who's doing 75 hard. She's just starting it.
What's that?
It's like a self-improvement kind of gnarly workout program where for 75 days you do that, and it's like coupled with reading like self-help books and stuff like that, and you kind of like you have to drink your water and you have to do your workout and you have to like get outside and walk and read, and it's like cool. It's a lot of like time and effort, but some people thrive with that sort of like
nice
container.
75 hard.
75 hard. It's good. So set those goals.
Yeah.
And you can modify things and make it yours.
75 soft.
75 soft. Yeah, that's more of my jam. I like a 75 soft. All right. So, exercise. Take care of your body. These are sort of things like eating well, moving your body, getting sunlight. These are the things that you're going to feel better in general if you do them. Even if you're like emotionally devastated still, but you're starting to realize things, like you're going to feel better if you take care of yourself. Just chemically, your brain's going to feel better, your body's going to feel better, you're going to have more energy, you're going to sleep better. Everything is going to be better if you take care of yourself. Like sometimes if you have a pet or something, I'm sure you probably relate to wanting to give them the best food and, not give them anything that's going to give them like diarrhea or something. And, you like really take care of them. And then sometimes we don't give ourselves that same like care and attention that we would for someone that we take care of. So,
well, this is the time to start giving it to yourself.
Yeah, this is the time. Another thing that can help is leaning into your anger. Lean in. Like now you're starting to have realizations. You're starting to realize how unfair and uncool some things were. Lean into that. It's okay. It's not, you're not a bad person for being mad at your ex about some shit that they did or they said. Like it
can help you make so much better decisions in the future, and it helps you to get to the next stage. It helps you to move on. I think we should do an episode on anger because it'll become kind of a cliche, but we really don't embrace it in quite maybe the healthiest way, especially in America. And I was going to say especially women, but that's actually not true at all. I mean, I think men struggle too with how to appropriately use and express their anger in different ways than women can struggle with it. But really it serves a purpose, and this would be the stage to get pissed off and messy.
Yes. So, and that doesn't mean showing up at your ex's house and yelling at him. I'm just saying, just everyone be angry. Don't.
Well, also
take it out on anyone.
Yes, complete. I mean, because you're still looking to them to satisfy what you're going through,
and you can't get no satisfaction that way.
Well, yeah, and also, how is that really helping to process the breakup when you're still relying so much on them?
You're still externalizing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then once again, no contact. Just keep not contacting.
Yep.
So
no contact. Yes. Okay. So after you experience this realization of all of this, what have I identified as the final stage of a breakup? And that would be release. So when you are in the release stage, you might have thoughts such as, I'm ready to move on. I know I will be okay. I am better off. I'm glad we broke up. And they are no longer in my life. And what you might find yourself doing during this time, one of the main things is not checking their social media. You might find that it's not as much of a desire of yours anymore. And, likewise, you'll probably find that they're not on your mind quite as much. I would say you probably will notice that when you wake up in the morning, it's not on your mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what can help during this stage? Continuing to go no contact. Release is such an important part of the journey, and combining that with still not contacting this person, and you're going to turn a massive corner in your breakup. I think that sometimes people get to this stage and then think, oh, great, this means I can have contact with them now.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah, I guess
Mm.
release, it's not past tense. It's an action
Oh,
for that
yes. Yes, very much
continues.
so. Other things that can help during this time, taking a solo trip, really recognizing that you are now single and that, the world is your oyster, and
Mm,
doing something that is exciting and fun and special that is just with you and just for you.
mhm.
I mean, imagine getting to the releasing stage and then taking a trip and then coming back and just thinking, wow,
Yeah,
I can do anything.
I can do anything.
And also, if you've never taken a solo trip, you might find that it was even better without your partner.
Oh my God, yes. Because then you just, our episode with Kelly, I forgot what number, but one of the things she said, she's like, when you're traveling with a partner and something goes wrong, it can kind of spiral out of control and everyone's like emotions are involved. But when you're on a solo trip and something goes wrong, she's found, and I think I would agree that it's kind of like, oh, well, I guess I'm making a new plan now, and you just make a new plan, and there's no blame or
Yeah.
feelings and things
Mhm.
like that involved. You kind of are like, oh, I guess I'm not doing that guided tour. I'm doing something else now. Like,
Yeah. And I
yeah,
don't have to sit here and talk it over and see what we both want to do. I
yeah,
also think people who aren't used to solo travel don't really understand the freedom that can come from just waking up on your holiday and just
yeah,
thinking to yourself, what do I feel like doing? If you're
yeah.
so used to making every decision with someone else, you don't know that it is a great feeling and it is
It's huge.
so relaxing.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
so relaxing, and it's like we grow up in families where everyone else's opinion matters.
Yeah.
And then, like, I think society conditions, um, like female presenting people, especially, to be always concerned and checking in with how everyone else is and feels about situations. And it's
Mhm.
kind of like your own opinion comes second to those
Mhm.
around you. Um, yeah,
I know
and
I've planned, I'm the planner in all like all of my relationships. And I know that I've planned trips for, either me and my friends or me and my partner in the past. And yeah, if something went wrong, just this feeling of total responsibility for the experience of everyone
no.
else, because,
Yeah.
I was the one who had put it together.
Yeah.
And it's not a vacation. It's not,
No, you're
especially
like, this
knowing
is
how good
my
it can be.
fourth job that
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
working.
And look, not everyone feels that way, but regardless of what type of personality you are, taking yourself on a trip is, freeing
Yeah.
and liberating and a great way to start this next chapter.
Yeah.
Another good way to start the next chapter of your life, redecorate. I think redecorating is a great thing to do when you're releasing somebody, really saying this space is mine and this is what I want it to look like. And this is regardless if you lived with the person or not. What we're doing with this stage is deciding is welcoming in a new life.
Yes.
So even if you hadn't lived together, it could still be really useful to, kind of freshen up your space and make it new.
Yeah. Get those new
And you,
sheets.
yeah, Claire, yeah, I love this. Yeah, get completely new bedding, paint
Yeah.
your bedroom walls, get a canopy. I want to put
Yeah.
up the little plastic glow in the dark stars in my
Oh.
room. So that might not float everyone's boat. But little things like that. Yes,
Yeah.
new.
Yes.
And this might also be the stage where you do a vision board for your future.
Yes. Vision board, highly recommend. You seem to love podcasts because you're here and you're still listening to this one. So,
Mhm.
if you have voice notes or something on your phone, or if you want to get fancier and, actually edit an audio file, you can make an audio vision board where you talk about your
Ooh,
future, but in
Claire.
the present tense. Be like, I'm so grateful that I have an amazing balcony to drink my coffee on every morning.
Yes.
And I love this about my life and this about my life. Talk about it in the present tense and
Oh,
do
there's so
audio
many
word
things.
pictures.
Yeah, I like that. I've heard that some people do voice notes to themselves, like at the beginning of each day, to set an intention for the day. I don't do that, but it resonates with me. Maybe I'll, do it someday.
Exactly.
I want to refer people to episode 78 of X-Files. And that is use your breakup to manifest a new beginning.
Ooh, yeah.
And Claire and I go through all of these different exercises and techniques and new practices that you can use to really, really start the next chapter of your life. So check that out. That was a fun episode. That was the first episode that we did in 2022.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Go us.
Oh, I was just about to say that too. Okay, so release, a huge part of the process. And then the final stage, of course, being acceptance.
Acceptance. And I think you know what acceptance is. And yeah, and I just want to say everyone is going to get there. You're going to get there. You're going to get to the stage where not only do you accept it, but you've also released it, and you're also protecting your boundaries now. You have appropriate reactions to the things that this person has done in your life. Like you're going to get there. And
then it's not really as much a matter of, like what can you do to help? I mean, now this is where you just all of a sudden one day you're like doing the dishes and it just occurs to you like, oh my God, I haven't even thought about this. Or, or just the fact that you don't think about it and you're just really loving being single, and it's really, really in the rearview mirror.
It's yes. And so I think acceptance is the ultimate goal. And can't wait to watch everyone get there in their own time, in their own way. But I think these stages do apply to people's process. And I think, you can go back and forth, I think, between stages. So that's important. I don't feel like you've done something wrong if you seem to be sliding back into devastation from
well, and we talked about this in the no contact episode. We know that no contact helps you move through the process, but part of the process sometimes is having what you might call a slip up, or doing something that you might have done differently, when you wake up the next morning and think about it. So and that would be probably, one very classic example is, breaking no contact and then kind of slipping back into one of the previous stages, but then using it, to launch yourself forward. Ultimately.
Yes, definitely.
So just to recap, we've got devastation, denial, realization, release, and acceptance.
So good. So no matter where you are in your own grieving and healing process, we are here for you. So make sure to scroll back through our back catalog. We probably have an episode that is perfect for your unique breakup circumstances. We are over 100 episodes in now, and each one of these episodes was made with you in mind, and usually based off of questions we've received. So
I'm just scrolling through now. And really, everyone, this is a resource for you. If you're struggling with your breakup, go start scrolling and start selecting episodes.
I mean, we could call this the X-Files encyclopedia, really.
Oh, that's cute. Maybe we should.
Rebranding. We just rebranded, but
And also, please remember, all of this was based on our experience as coaches and helping people through the process. Always remember the power of one-on-one support. We have openings in our coaching schedule and would be thrilled to connect with you, not only to put this behind you, but end up even better than you were before the breakup.
Yes, 100%. Because if if someone chooses to go and chooses to end things, I know you will eventually see and you will eventually accept that it couldn't have been as perfect for you as you thought it was when the breakup first happened. Like, I think that's the big message here is what doesn't work for one person cannot be working for the other person as well. So so we are here to help. We're ready. If you need more support than just this podcast, you can book with either of us. Just DM us in the X-Files podcast Instagram, and we'll send you some information on coaching.
We have it linked in the show notes. We also have our Patreon linked in the show notes. If you'd like to give us a little bit of support month to month, we would, be excited to connect with you there as well. And other than that, we'll see you back here next Tuesday.
Thank you for listening to X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on.
If you liked this episode, please help others find us by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or by following the show on Spotify.
And if you'd like to connect more with us and learn about breakup coaching, find us on Instagram at X-Files Podcast.